Welcome to today's episode of the King Obed podcast, your go to podcast for personal development, growth, inspiration, and motivation. In today's episode, we'll be looking at a topic that affects all of us at some point in our lives, and that is how we can live a happy and a fulfilling life, and why some of us are still not happy despite the achievements and everything we are enjoying. Now, we'll go into some of the actionable steps that can trigger us or can move us on a platform or on a stage where we can live a fulfilling life. You see, in a world where we are all engaged in different things of life, at some point we are pursuing careers, at some point we are in a relationship, at some point we want to do, engage in certain businesses and stuff. These are all some of the things that we encounter, and it takes, the best out of us, and it brings a certain kind of emotional kind of trauma on our lives, and we feel drained, we feel stressed, and we are not happy. So why are you not happy? What is the cause of happiness in your life as well? And what's the cause of sorrow or sadness in your life? Is this something you lost? Is this you think that somebody else somewhere is making a giant strides as compared to what you are living in a day or in an era where social media is all over the place? Is it affecting your way of life? Is it affecting your happiness? What is the impact of social media on your happiness or on your life as an individual? These are the things that we are going to explore. Now we find out the common reasons why people, you and I, are not happy, and how we can come out of this happiness. Whether we are pursuing a new career, whether we are into a relationship, or whether we are building something sustainable for our lives. These are some of the things that we are going to discuss on today's episode. So join me and let's go as we unmask or unlock the power to be happy and to live a fulfilling life. The World Happiness Report, which was conducted by the University of Oxford and the UN, together states that young men or young people are becoming less happy than the older generation. And it says that young men are really struggling to be happy. But the report goes on to say that, yes, many of these can be attributed to the exposure of social media. And can you share your experience? How social media has affected your life, how you are living your life? From far away where you sit, is social media having a direct impact on how you live your life, and it's causing that kind of unhappiness in your life? So that is what the report, states, that one of the major factors that is affecting people in especially America and other parts of Europe and the other part of African continent, is that social media, our exposure to social media, is affecting our way of life. So, for instance, myself, I'm exposed to social media, but is social media having a toll on me? No, the big answer is no. I control social media. I do not allow social media to control me. I control everything around me, and that is how come people who are around me always think that I am in a playful mood, I'm in a happy mood and stuff. Yes, I have won the battle from within, right? And so within me, I believe that I am the only person who has a total control over happiness, over my happiness. Though I believe that whatever people do to you as an individual can affect your emotions. And I've gotten to a point, or I've had conversations with people where they say to me that it appears you do not have emotions. No, that is not the case. Each and every person has an emotion, or we have emotions, we encounter emotions, we go through emotional stress and emotional traumas at certain point in our life. But the question is that, how are you able to control that kind of thing? And that is, I think, for me, that is my biggest tool. I have, won the battle from within. So regardless of whatever is happening to me, in my mind, I am a happy person. And so, therefore, whatever you are bringing, if it's a sorrowful thing, if it's a sad thing, if it's anything that is going to drain me or take away that bit of happiness, I have, won the battle from within. So I know how to overcome it. I don't know how you overcome sorrow. I don't know how you overcome sadness. I don't know what makes you unhappy and why you think that somebody out there is happier than you, as you see, on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on Twitter, or on all the platforms that you engage in. You think that people are posting things, people are posting flashy stuffs, and therefore you do not have them. So it makes you to a point you think that you are not living a fulfilling life. So that is me. I have developed that kind of happiness mind that regardless of the situation, I will need to put myself in control to be able to come out a happy person always, and then create that kind of arena and atmosphere that will help me to live that kind of a happy life and a fulfilling life. Because I believe that if you are happy, you are able to go about your normal duties. If you're happy, you're able to do the things that you set out to do. And if you are not happy, you do the opposite. You cannot even go about your normal duties. So what are some of the things that makes you happy? Share with us. And I'm going to break some of them down and how we can come over it in this episode. One of the main reasons why I believe people are unhappy in their lives is the fact that the society where we come from has placed a lot of demand and expectations on us, to the extent that if you are not able to live up to that expectation, you are not considered a fit person in the society. There's that kind of a certain kind of line that we must follow. And therefore, if we are not in that queue or we are not in that line, it means that we're falling out and therefore we are failed. So one of them is career and financial success. You see, society, in as much as the societal norms are good for us, it shapes us, it directs us how we should live our life and perceive our achievement. It also puts a certain kind of pressure and dissatisfaction on us. So, especially in terms of career and financial success, we tend to show that yes, this person has achieved this at an early stage, like age 25. Somebody has done his master's, his PhD, or her PhD, or whatever it is. And therefore, if you have not achieved those things at an early stage, like your friend or like your colleague elsewhere, it will be like, the society will kind of make it like you have failed or you are failing, and therefore you need to up your game. And this, when it happens, it puts a lot of pressure on you, and you become, unhappy within you, and you feel like you are that guy who is always failing, who is not always giving your best. That is what society has done. So society has placed a certain kind of mark that if you are not able to cross this mark, if you are not able to cross this border, it means that you are failing. And every failure, more or less, is associated with you being a happy person. And that is why most of us are happy. So there's a saying that you need to celebrate your, small achievement and successes. Don't wait for the bigger ones. Every step you take that makes you thrive or go forward an inch towards your vision, it means that you are doing something proper. And as a result, you must push forward. Never relent. Don't give up. Keep on moving. And that is one way you can overcome that aspect of you being that unhappy person every time. And there is this, pressure again for you as well to also thrive, perhaps in your relationship. There are people, there's a group in the society, when you encounter them, they're always pushing you that, hey, when are you going to get married? Hey, when are you going to give birth? Hey, when are you going to buy your first house? What are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? Yes, in as much as it serves, as a check and balances, the more they continue to say some of these things, the more as an ordinary human being, you want to think about some of these things. And the more you think about some of these things, the more it has effect on your happiness, the more it has effect on your emotions as well. So all of these things that people say, it comes back to affect us. You see, and sometimes some of the societal pressures as well is sometimes how society has made it like this is the way to dress, this is the way to live a particular kind of lifestyle, and therefore they always compare it to somebody who is living that kind of lifestyle. It's like always Mr. A is living this kind of lifestyle, and you are not living that kind of lifestyle. So it places a lot of pressure and expectations on us. And if you're not that strong, it weighs you down as an individual. So that is one way, or one of the ways, that people are unhappy in their lives. Societal pressure and expectation. I don't know how much the society has influenced some of the things, some of the decisions you decide to take. There are some people who take decisions, and those decisions are not even their own decisions. They are decisions that people have enforced on them because the other person believes that this is the right way to go. Now, another way is that when you do not identify your purpose, right? You do not even know the path on which you are charting, which direction you are going, whether you are going to education, whether you are going to academia, whether you are going to, the career progression, wherever you find yourself, which area you want to go as an individual, you don't even know. So more or less, you become like you are lost, and it creates that kind of unhappiness in you. And whilst maybe within your circle of friends you've seen that maybe friend A is moving in this direction, friend B is doing this, then only you are not doing anything meaningful. You have not even identified your path, which direction you want to move to, right? So for instance, if you are in a group, maybe the other person, friend A, is in maybe academia, friend B is in the medical profession and is doing so well. But for you, you cannot even fit yourself well, whether which area, you don't even know which area you find yourself, which profession, which career you want to progress further. And it becomes a way that weighs us down as individuals. So these are some of the things that stops us. These are some of the things that put pressure on us. And these are some of the ways in which it adds to the unhappiness in our lives. Another common reason why people are not happy is comparison and, the influence of social media. I read a book and it says that with respect to comparison, we can never get to the root of it, right? So, what I've come to realize is that there is always something to compare, and there is always something which will be better than what you are doing, and you always also be better than something, right? Or somebody. So, regardless of wherever you find yourself, regardless of whatever you are doing, if you keep comparing, there will be that kind of, or there will be that state of unhappiness within you. Because the moment you compare, then it means that you want to find a difference. You want to strike a difference. If you compare A and B, definitely there will be a difference between A and B. And so the difference is what is going to account for that unhappiness in your life. So if you want to deal with the issue of unhappiness, then your level of comparison should be very, very low. And again, you see, like I said, the World Happiness Report attributed why people are becoming, or young people are becoming, less happy to the use of social media or to the exposure to social media. So recently, I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and I told him that yes, for me, I've come to the realization that if you compare the two generations, like our generation and maybe the previous generation, or maybe our mothers and fathers generation, what I've seen is that we are overly exposed, and it's all because of social media. Today, you sit in the comfort of your home, and then you can hear everything, you can see everything, just with a click of it. You see, and that is what has influenced a lot of decisions, a lot of choices, a lot of the things that we do through what we see, what we read, and what we hear again. So the power of social media is very, effective, or is having a serious effect on our lives. And so the social media that we've been exposed to is affecting us negatively or positively, depending on how you use it. But there are people who have been affected negatively by social media because they've seen people display a certain kind of lifestyle. They've seen people display a certain kind of success on that space, and therefore when they see them, they think that they have been left behind. So if you are that person who is always, into the act of comparison, the act of social media influencing you, then your happiness is far away from you. You always be in that state of sorrowful state because you think that somebody else somewhere is doing better than you are doing, is going ahead better than you are. Another common reason is stress and burnout. You see, we engage in a lot of things, and whether at a point, if we are in education, whether we are writing exams, if we are in a professional job, is that the stress of every day waking up to go to work also has its own kind of stress on our lives. And sometimes you get to that point where you are burnout, you see, and your body is so weak that it cannot even do anything for yourself. Another common reason why people are unhappy and not living a fulfilling life is when they are stressed and burnout. Stress is killing a lot of people, and burnout is killing a lot of people. You know, it gets to that point where your body is so weak, you do not even know what to do. Some people have broken down by the very fact of the job they do, and maybe the intensity of the work and the strenuous nature or the stressful nature of the work that they are engaged in, right? So I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and he goes like, I cannot do anything, I cannot feel myself. I am getting weak each and every time, right? And so it's one of this. So the job that we find ourselves, maybe the conversations that we engage in, the nature of the job that we are in, put a lot of stress on our lives. And therefore, as we cannot manage the stress, we cannot manage the burnout, it will affect us psychologically, it will affect us emotionally, it will affect our whole being, and therefore we will not be able to live more or less like a happy life. So it takes the happiness out of us. So always we tend to be in kind of our corner, and we cannot be ourselves as we are supposed to be. So are you burnout? Are you engaged in a stressful exercise? Are you engaged in a strenuous activity? So there are a number of activities that we engage in which affect us, and it puts a lot of stress on us. For those in school, when there's exams time, it takes a lot of energy away from you. And from those of us who are into the working stage, it also takes a lot of energy from you. You go to work from 9 to 5 and you are burnt out. There are people who wake up as early as 3:30, as early as 5:30 to prepare to go to work. All of this adds up to the stress that we go through. All of this adds up to the burnout that we go through. So yes, if you are stressed or burnout, it can affect you emotionally, it can affect you psychologically, it can affect the whole performance of your being as an individual. So these are some of the common reasons why people are not happy with their lives. These are some of it. I don't know where you find yourself. I don't know which area, whether you are being pressured by society, whether you are being pressured by the urge to succeed financially and career wise, whether you don't have a clear sense of direction in your life as an individual. All of this will collectively amount to a certain kind of unhappiness in your life. So I don't know where you stand, but my goal at the end of this episode is to give you actionable and practical advice or solutions to help you to live a life that is well fulfilling. Another common reason why people are unhappy about their life and they are not living a fulfilling life is negative self-talk and low self-esteem. You see, there are people who do not or never speak good about themselves. They never speak anything positive about their lives. They always think that, you know, everything about them should be negative, and everything about them is negative, right? So they never say anything about them. They see everything, their life, from the top of their head to the ends of their feet, that everything about them is negative. Whatever they are engaging is negative. If you are that person, there is no way you'll be a happy person. And there are people too who have low self-esteem. And low self-esteem or self-esteem is how much you love yourself. How much you love yourself. You see, you can never love somebody more than you love yourself. And no one can love you more than you love yourself. These are the two things. So the two ends, either way, wherever you stand, you must like and love yourself first before you can give love. And self-esteem is that emotional compartment or emotional part of our personality or of our being. And that is why the things people say to us affect us, because it tends to affect our emotions. It tends our self-esteem as individuals. You see, so everything you do, everything you say, if they are negative, if they are low, it affects the way you live your life, and it affects even your performance. It affects even your path. It affects even your career, the career where you find yourself. So you must be that kind of person always, not looking down on yourself, always, not not talking negative things about your life, but you must be a positive person. So low self-esteem and negative self-talk can increase that level of unhappiness in our lives. And you can look around the circle of people, the circle of friends. There's always that person who is always, we will say, like pessimistic, who is always talking negative, who is always looking down upon him or herself. If you are that person, there's always that kind of bitterness. There's always that kind of, unhappiness surrounding your life as a person. So this is one of the common reasons why, again, another last point that I want to dwell on with regards to why people are not happy in their life, it's unresolved past issues and trauma. You see, past experiences that we have gone through, the encounters we have gone through, the engagements we've had with people has left a certain kind of emotional scar, of psychological scar on us. And as a result of that, it is not making us live the best of life that we want to live, because sometimes some of these things we keep thinking about them and it keeps affecting our way of life. Some of us are still living in the past. Some of us cannot forget some of the things that we did, like, the broken relationships, the trust issues, that we trusted people so much or too much, and then they broke that trust. That element of trust was broken. And so at the end of the day, we cannot even, know how or see how going forward we can trust people again. So the lot of things that we have engaged in, that we have gone through, whether in our families, in our relationship, in our friendship, at our workplace, wherever, our past life, we cannot forget them. We cannot overcome them. And it's rather tormenting us. It's rather being a scar on our minds. And as a result of that, it's becoming difficult for us to live a life of happiness and a fulfilled life, because we are still living in the past. And this is affecting a lot of people, a lot of the youth that I've encountered. There are people, maybe they went into a relationship, and then maybe the way a guy treated them or the way a lady treated them, they still do not have, that kind of appetite or energy to go into another relationship again, because they still have that kind of scar. They still have that kind of, emotional trauma with them. There are people who maybe their mother or father traumatized them when they were kids, and it's still fresh on their minds or in their minds, and therefore they cannot live without it. And it's still affecting their way of life. The things people have said to us, and that is affecting our personality. People have abused us emotionally, people have abused us physically, whichever way it is. People have body shamed us. You see, and that is affecting our way of life, because we are still living in that element of the past. We cannot get over them. If you are within that bracket, or if you are within this bracket, I am here for you. That is why it is you, or you are the one of the reasons why I am talking on this topic. And we are breaking it down for people to understand that all of us, we can be happy and we can live a happy life. Now, let's talk about some of the practical steps that you and I can adopt in order to live a life that is fulfilling and a happy life, of course. So, number one is that we should be able to find our purpose and set clear goals that will lead us into living that life of purpose, right? Yeah, so under them, we have, finding your passion and interest, and also setting, smart goals. So let's talk about finding your passion and interest. You see, there are people who do not even know what they are interested in, who at a point thinks that because their friend is interested in this thing, they are also interested in them. So, first of all, find your purpose. Your purpose is, why are you here on earth? Why did God create you to be here? Why are you here in the first place? Why have you relocated to that country that you have relocated? Did you relocate because a friend of yours was traveling and therefore you joined? Did you relocate because an opportunity just arose from you and therefore you just hop onto that opportunity and then you are there? Find your purpose. Find your interest. There are a lot of people living without any purpose. They are just thinking that, oh, once the day is here, we will live life as and when it comes. That is not life. If you live life that way, you are always living the life of others for them and you are not living yours. And that is one of the reasons why people still live a life of unhappiness and unfulfillment, even though we think they are going about their normal duties and they are doing something meaningful. So, what is your purpose? One of my greatest mentors that I've followed up to now, he says that self-discovery is the greatest discovery in history. So it means that if you discover yourself, if you find out actually why you are here on earth and the things you can do, the things you are interested in, the things that you can do freely without, you can do it for the whole day and you still be fine with yourself. That is your interest. Keep trying things, keep experimenting things. The more you experiment, the more you try, the more you'll be able to learn and find out that this is actually what you are involved in. This is actually where you are supposed to work as a person. Other than that, you will never be happy with the kind of life you are living. You always be thinking that people are ahead because, well, God has favored them. People are ahead because they are doing better than you. People are ahead because they didn't choose the path you have chosen. That is not so. But you see, I always say that all those people, or the people that we see them performing at a higher peak, and we are always following them, it's not because they are superhuman beings. It's because they have identified something. It's because they've seen themselves. It's because they've come to establish that this is who they are. And then they are living that line. They are everything they are doing is in connection to who they think they are. But for you and I, who do not to a point even know our own selves, it will be very difficult for us to chart a particular path. And always it will be like we are behind people. It will be like our friends have taken the lead. The only thing you can do for yourself now is to find out, who are you? Why are you here on earth? What did you come to do? Why did God create you at this specific time? And why are you here? The moment you find your why, your what you follow, how you follow, what you can do, how you can do it to follow. But if you don't know your why, it will be very difficult. There's this one book on entrepreneurship. The title is Start with Why. The moment we start with why are you doing that thing? You'll be able to draw answers. And from that, you'll be able to capitalize on it and you'll be able to do things as they are supposed to be done. Unless you are able to identify that kind of thing, it will be very difficult. So, what is your interest? What are you interested in? For me, my interest is, I love to talk. Though people see me as a quiet type, but I love to, give out what I've learned, like I'm doing now. What I've experienced, what I've learned, because I believe that God has brought me here to influence the lives of people. So anybody I come in contact with, I'm supposed to have a positive impact or influence on your life. And that is what I share, bits and pieces of whatever I believe that I've learned. And therefore, it can help every human being that I meet on earth. That is where my interest is. So I preach to people, I talk to people, I encourage people, I motivate people. You see, I inspire people, I give life to whatever is dead. That is me. So, what is your interest? Where do you find your interest? What is your interest in? Until you are able to find those things, there is no way you'll be able to live that happy life. You see, the musicians that we see think that, they are music and therefore they produce music for people. And so whatever they do in that line, it makes them happy. The engineers, if somebody sees that he's an engineer, by birth, and that is what God has brought him or her on earth to do, if he does it, he or she finds a certain kind of fulfillment within him or her. And that is what people do, and they become, so successful in what they do. It is not about, accumulating everything. There are people who we think that they have accumulated everything, yet they are not happy because they are not themselves. They are not living the purposeful life. They don't know their why. So until you know your why, you still, be moving about just like that. You wouldn't even know what to do as a person. So find your interest. If your interest is in music, capitalize on it. If your interest is in public speaking, capitalize on it. Read books on it. How to, go into the act of public speaking, how to go into the art of music. All of these things are learned. And if you learn them, once it is in you, you'll be connected. And the more you get into that space, the more you'll be able to do them. So find your why. Why are you here? And identify the interest that God has given to you and pursue them. The more you do things, the more you take action, the more you see that your dominant force or the dominant things in you will come out of you, and you'll be able to show them to the world. That is the only way to help you, to make you better. And that is why I wrote that book called Unlocking Your Untapped Abilities. There are a lot of things in us that we need to untap, that we need to unlock, that we need to bring out as believers, as individuals, as human beings on earth. That is the only way to mean that we are living a purposeful life. And that is the only way that will make us always happy. If you get up, if you wake up from your bed and you are always doing something that you think you like, that you think you are in tune to, it makes you so satisfying and fulfilling. But if you think you are being forced to go to the work that you do not like, if you think you are being forced to do things that you are not so conversant or comfortable with, always there will be that, spirit, or there will be that kind of thing in your mind. I don't like this. Why am I being into this? And people, some of us, we go to work always crying because we do not like what we are in. But because we've not identified our why, we cannot even know that this is what we are meant to do. And there are a lot of people like that. And that is why I've taken upon myself that, yes, I will help people to uncover themselves, to identify themselves. That is, I believe that is my assignment on earth. And that is what I'm championing each and every blessed day. That, yes, let's move in this direction. For God will be with us and God will guide us. So one, identify or find your purpose and set clear goals. Now, under them, we are talking about the fact that you should be able to find your passion and interest. Again, under finding your purpose and setting clear goals, we call something called setting smart goals. SMART, setting smart goals. So the S stands for specific. You must be goal oriented. You must be able to write something down. At the end of the year, at the start of the week, at the start of the month, this is what I want to achieve. You must be specific. Do you want to save maybe 100 pounds, 100 cedis, $100, whatever you want to do? Be specific. Don't say, I want to save. How much do you want to save? Write it. Be specific. I want to save 100 pounds. It's specific. You are specific with it. And then the goal that you have set, let it be measurable. You should be able to give yourself like that measurable timelines that you are going to measure this, how you are going to achieve this kind of target that you set for yourself. And again, is it achievable? The goal that you set, is it achievable? The goal that you set, is it relevant? The goal that you set for yourself, is it time bound? People set goals and they say, okay, I want to be a billionaire. At what time? What age? If you are 25 and you say you want to be a billionaire, what age are you looking at? Is it in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years that you want to be a billionaire? Or what age? Be specific. Other than that, you might think you want to be a billionaire. You want to be a billionaire, but you don't even know the time that you want to, get to that peak to say that, yes, you are a self-acclaimed billionaire, right? So whatever you want to achieve, let follow this rule. Your goal should be smart, right? And in the smartness, it should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be achievable, it should be relevant, it should be time bound. And these are the ways in which, for me, I decide to, apply to every goal that I set for myself. Beginning of every year, I write down specifically what I want to achieve, whether 10 goals, whether 7 goals, whatever. Even if it's one goal, and you write it down and you set timelines for it, you make it specific, you make it measurable, you make it achievable, then you are on that purpose. So the goals that you have for yourself, right? The goals that you have for yourself, you set for yourself. Probably, maybe if it's 2024, we've done almost like half of the year. We are going to half of the year, right? What have you done to it? Are you sure the goals you set right from the start of this year, you are going to achieve them, or they are achievable, right? So if you decide exactly what you want, right? Decide exactly what you want. What exactly do you want as a believer or as an individual? What do you want to achieve in your life? Decide it exactly. Now, after you've decided, make sure you write it down. Make sure you write it down. Don't just let it be a wish in your head. Write it down. Because if you write something down, it enforces you to take action. But if the thing is in your head, there are so many things in your head, and even at a point, something can even push it away, right? The second thing is that when you've written the thing down, now the third thing is that set a deadline. Set a deadline for it. We see, give it time. What specific time do you want to achieve this target? Set a deadline. You see, it doesn't matter that if you set the deadline, it means that if the deadline reaches and you will not achieve that goal, it means you are a failure. No. So deadline is just a guesstimate of, what you want to achieve, the times you want to achieve these goals. So you set a deadline. Maybe in maybe this year, October, I want to be this specifically. You've set a deadline for it. Now, the deadline, it can be that you can achieve this before the deadline or not. It's possible, right? If you achieve them before the deadline or just on the deadline, you're okay. If you are not able to achieve them, it's just, a stage or a step for you to make adjustment to it. It means that you've set a deadline and it's guiding you. Number 4 is that what you should do in relation to that is list most of the things or all of the things that will help you to achieve that specific goal or goals. List them. If there are people you need, if there are mentors you need, if there are coaches you need, if there are people you need them for them to guide you in all of these processes, these are the people you need. If there are resources that you need, list all of them down. Now, after you've list all of them down, now you must decide on the sequence and the priorities. If you have these goals down, which of them, if there are 10 of them, which of them, arrange them, which of them comes in order of priority. Now, in this way, it is going to help you to do a self-check. And now, once you know that this is in order of priority, you know which one to tackle first. You know which one to go on second. You know which one to tackle last. So you set them in order of priority. You see, this is going to help you. Again, another thing is that once you set them in the order of priority, now every day, make sure you work towards it. Do something each and every day that is helping you to go on this journey. It's a day at a time. It's a day at a time. But you see, when you don't have any goal to work towards, when you don't have anything to work towards, then it becomes a problem because you don't even know what you want to achieve. And so when you see me achieving my goals, when you see me working towards my goals, you become envious of it. And then you are jealous of it because you think maybe I am flying higher. But you don't know specifically what I have done. And these are what, the world achievers, the higher performance, achievers are using to their advantage. And that is what most of us too are not capitalizing on. So if you are watching me or if you are listening to me today, I want you to take note that your goal should be smart and make sure that you have a clear vision of where you want to take your life. In this way, you'll be happy about the kind of person you want to be, and you'll live a fulfilled life. Like most people that you admire, most people that you see on social media, most people that you see in the environment, in the society, they are living. You think that they are superhuman beings. They are not. They are just like us. Just that they have put themselves on a higher pedestal, and they've leveraged on that, and it's working for them, and they've combined these methods that I'm talking about, and they are achieving higher results, and they are performing to the maximum. And at the end of the day, they become the defining things that they become they become the pinnacle, or the people we look up to in the society. So if people can look up to you, then it means that you must be a higher performer. You must be a higher achiever. You must have utilized or maximized your potential. And these are the very ways that you can use to maximize your potential and to live a fulfilling and a happy life. The second major point you and I can use to live a happy and a fulfilling life is by engaging in building positive habits. And by engaging in positive habits means that you can, engage in daily routines and rituals. And I mean by engaging in exercises, engaging in meditation, engaging in reading. You see, I have a personal experiences in terms of this. Now, in somewhere 2023, I decided that I'm going to involve or indulge in the act of reading. And so I set a specific goal that from January 2023 to December 2023, I was going to read like 50 books. Yes. So I set a clear target for myself. And I must say, it has been the game changer in my life. And it has been a life transforming journey. And, one of the best decisions I have taken in my life. You see? So I've read books. I've read largely self-development or self-improvement books. And all of them, I've picked salient points from them and I've applied it to my life, and it's helping me. I've read books from No Excuses, The Power of Self-Discipline by Brian Tracy, which talks about how every individual, you should be disciplined in order to achieve your goals. Because it says that if you are disciplined, you can stick to any clear direction that you set for yourself. I've read books like written by James Clear, which is Atomic Habits. He says how you can form every habit and disown the bad habits that you do not like. And one of the books that I read, which was written by Eric Partaker, he talks about the 3 alarms, how you should take care of your family, you should take care of your work, you should take care of the goals that you set for yourself and everything. So it's very important that you indulge in reading books. Books like How to Influence People and Win Friends, written by Dale Carnegie. It's one of the best books that, builds you up to interact and form proper relationships with humans. So if you engage in reading, it shapes your mind, and read books that aligns with your vision, that aligns with your purpose. I read books a lot, and I listen to sermons by Dr. Miles Moron, because he talks so much about how you can be yourself, so much about how you can identify yourself, so much about how you can identify your purpose and work in direction to it. I listen to most of his sermons, and I have this app of him on my phone, which I've subscribed, and every month I'm paying like $10. You see, so I am engaged in those things, and when I listen to them, I take time to meditate on it. There are times maybe if I'm traveling alone, I put them down, like maybe in 1 hour, 2 hours, I'm listening to him and I'm meditating on some of the things that he's talking about, that he's saying. All of these things have contributed, to the person I am today. So what do you like? The daily routines. Like one of the quotes says that people don't decide their future. They decide their habits, and the habits decide who they want to become. So he says that one of the quotes that I like most, he says, people do not decide their future. You see, they decide their habits, and the habits that they engage in daily decide their future or who they'll become. So the things you are doing today will amount to the person you want to become. That's why I like that book by James Clear, Atomic Habits. You see, Atomic Habits, how to form every new habit that you want to form and break away from the bad ones. You see, it's a very good book for you. And so I suggest for you, I've read books like How Deep Work, you see, by Cal Newport, how you can engage in a concentrated work, undisturbed, in a distracted way like this. How can you engage in deep work? He talks about that. And one of his books that I read that touches me so much, he says, so good they can't ignore you. So good they can't ignore you. Why skills trump over passion? You see, so he talks about the fact that having passion alone is not enough. And therefore, you must have skills so that they can't just ignore you, right? So if you have passion, you should be able to work along and develop that skills that you have to support that passion that you have. You see, so all the books that you engage in, that will help you. And for me, the Bible is my daily manual. I read it. There are times I set my mind on a particular maybe like book, maybe full book of Genesis. I start from chapter 1 and I'm reading through and meditating upon it. Right? I'm exercising. I used to go to the gym at times. When you have a bit of time, go exercise because you are always moving. You are in the car, moving here and there, here and there. You are at work. From work, you come and sleep. No, that is not a healthy lifestyle. You must be able to involve yourself in daily activities that will make you stronger and a better person. Now, under that, we also have living a healthy lifestyle or adapting a healthy lifestyle choices. The food we eat can influence our lives as how we are happy or not. The exercise we engage in, the amount of sleep that we have each and every day. Because every human being, you are supposed to have a specific amount of sleep. And if you don't get them, if you sleep below the number of hours you are supposed to sleep daily or a requirement for you, it will affect your whole psyche. So even in the morning where you just wake up from bed, you see that you and you go to work and you think that you've not had that enough sleep, it will affect you. Even your performance at work, it will affect you. Even your interactions with people, it will affect you. You feel dizzy, you feel so a bit of uncomfort and that kind of thing. So every individual, you must engage in a healthy lifestyle. That is the only way that can help you clear your mind of everything and for you to live that kind of happy life and a fulfilling that you want to live as a person. So this is also one of the keys to live a healthy, a purposeful, and a fulfilling life. The third practical step in living a happy and a fulfilling life is that you need to cultivate positive relationships. And in cultivating positive relationship, you need to surround yourself with positive people. You see, whether you like it or not, we are relational beings and we thrive on relationships. You see, no man is an island. Whether you are the most introvert person around, you still need somebody. So, who is that somebody? Who is that, or what is that circle that you surround yourself with? What kind of people are they? What caliber of people are they? Are they the pessimistic group of people, or are they the optimistic group of people? Are they the energy, moving group of people, or are they the positive moving guys, or they are the negative draining guys? They drain you, right? And they do not add anything to you. Are these the people that you surrounded yourself with? then if they are the people, then it means that each and every time you are going to be drained. They will take energy out of you and they will not replace it with anything. Who is your best friend? Who do you speak to the most? What kind of advice do they give you? And if there is an issue, who is the first person to talk to? What kind of advices do they give you? These are the things you should find out. What kind of people have you surrounded yourself with? They will have a negative or a positive influence on your people, on you. So it is very important that if you want to live a happy, a fulfilling, and a purposeful life, you have to surround yourself with positive people. Don't surround yourself with people who do not believe in you. Don't surround yourself with people who do not trust in your capabilities. Don't surround yourself with people who are not supportive. Don't surround yourself with people who don't see any good thing in you, but rather look out for the people, if it's just even one person who is supporting you in all your endeavors, who is saying the positive stuff to you, who is pushing you to do things, who is engaging you daily to give you positive advices, who believes in everything you do. These are the people you should cling on to, and not those people who think that you are good for nothing, who think that you are ugly, who think that you are not beautiful, who think that you are this, who think that you are that. Everything they think about you is negative, right? If we surround ourselves with these people, always we feel comfortable. If we are loved by people who surround us, always we feel comfortable. Always we feel like being at our best because we believe that the people who surround us believe in our vision. They believe in our dreams. They believe in our capabilities. They believe in our abilities and whatever we can do as believers or as individuals. So for me, if you are not there, I'll cut you off. Directly or indirectly, I'll cut you off. I'll find a way to cut you off because you are, you know, the replica or the result of the people you talk to every day. So if you talk to negative people or pessimistic people, you see, you always be negative. But if you talk to people who are positive minded, who are, direction, who are oriented, who are directed, and who have a clear sense of vision and purpose, always your life is skewed and your life is narrowed down to the clear focus of the direction in which you want to go. So I create that kind of environment around myself. And you are the driver. If you don't want this person to be around you, you can just let the person go. But we thrive on relationship. If you are extrovert, that is fine. Find a way to build a healthy and a better relationship. Now, under that thing, or under that major point, building positive relationship, the second point under it is that you also need to engage in effective communication. Effective communication. And in effective communication, dealing with people, building communication, breaking communication barriers, and involving in healthy communication with people. I will suggest this book to you, or for you. I'll suggest this book for you. It says that How to Win Friends and Influence People, written by Dale Carnegie. It's a very good book. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it, on all the book platforms. Read it. And another book is How to Read a Person Like a Book, right? It's also one of the best books on communication. Get them, read them, take bits and pieces of information from it and add it to what you know already. Learn some from your friends, learn some from the people you engage each and every day. And in that way, you become a very good communicator. And once you're a good communicator, you'll be able to build relationships with people, regardless. So these are the ways that you can build positive and healthy, a good relationship, which can help you to be a happy person, which can help you to be an influential person, which can help you to live a life that is self-fulfilling. And at the end of the day, everybody around you will be happy because you are connected, you are well connected. You build that kind of positive vibe around the arena, around the circle where you find yourself. So this is it. Learn to build positive relationships, and you'll be one of the happiest persons on the earth. The fourth major practical step that we can use to be happy and live a fulfilling life is practicing gratefulness and mindfulness. You see, we should always be mindful of the things we do, of ourselves, of who we are. And we should also engage in an act of gratitude. What are you grateful for? What has been done in your life? What are the things you've achieved as an individual? What are some of the things? Engage in gratitude journaling. Take a piece of paper, take a notepad and a pen. Write something down, something that you are grateful for each and every day, whether the month, the year, the time, an hour, that something good happened to you. Engage in that and be grateful for something. I'm sure each and every one, you watching me now, there is something, or listening to me now, there is something that has happened to you which you are grateful for. And you keep saying to people. So there is something always to be grateful for. Engage in that then. Write it. That is gratitude journaling. Now, under practicing gratefulness and or under practicing gratitude and mindfulness, the second point is that you must practice mindfulness. And that is by engaging in meditation. You see, engaging in meditation. Now, mindful meditation is when you calmly focus on the present moment, right? You focus just on the present moment, not the future, not the past, but currently what is happening to you, your life at that moment. Now, when you focus on it calmly by accepting or acknowledging, your thoughts, your feelings, and the bodily sensations that comes with it. You see, and at any point in time, because you are engaged in this, it helps you release stress. It helps you improve your emotional well-being, your physical health. It reduces stress. So it reduces, that stress levels. It regulates the cortisol levels, the hormone that regulates stress in your body. It promotes your physical well-being, your emotional well-being. It helps you to concentrate at that particular point in time. So each and every person would have to be engaged in some of these things. Mindful meditation. So maybe after work, maybe before work, maybe at any point in time, you can get some quiet place, like in your car, in your house, in your room alone. It's a soulful moment. It's only you. It's only that moment where you just want to have that kind of serene, quiet atmosphere. And then you want to just soak yourself up in the spirit of meditation. And once you've set that place, now you need to sit quietly. Right? You need to sit quietly. What you do next is that maybe you set time, like I'm going to be quiet for the next 2 minutes. I'm going to be quiet for the next 3 minutes. You set a time on it. Now you hold your breath and you focus on yourself. You soak yourself into yourself. And then you start thinking about the present moment. You start thinking on your thoughts. You're connecting with your thoughts, with your feelings, with your emotions. This is not a time to judge yourself. And it is natural that your mind will wander, will be going back and forth, It's natural, but stay within the present. Don't move. Don't move. Just be comfortable, seated. Now with time, if it's initial 2 minutes, you can be increasing it. If you started with 2 minutes, you can, increase it like to 10 minutes or to maybe 5 minutes, depending on how long you can concentrate. And after you've done that, you must put all yourself together and then you show gratitude. Be thankful for, going through all this and thinking deeply about yourself, meditating about yourself. That is the way forward. Have quiet time with yourself. Meditate. It shouldn't be like 1 hour, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. How effective it is the most important. It's not about the length or the duration of time, but how important that exercise is. And when you are done with it, you know that yes, you've come like face to face with yourself. And another benefit of it is that it helps you to become aware of yourself, like self-awareness. You become aware of yourself because you are now in tune and you've connected deeply with your soul, with your heart, with your mind. That is practicing mindful meditation, right? So if we can do that, we can connect with ourselves again, and we see that we'll be connected again. There'll be that stress-free life because we are able to control. And physical health it protects us and therefore regulates even our blood pressures as well, because it takes off the stress that we are going through. And we all know that stress has a connection with our blood pressures. So the more you stress yourself, the more you raises the blood pressure levels within you. And all this will affect our health, and it will not let us to live a happy and a fulfilling life. So this is one of the ways. Practice mindfulness and gratitude, and you will live a life that you'll be okay with. Can you guess the last step or the last crucial point we have to talk about? Can you guess? Now, the last crucial point I want to talk about with regards to the practical steps that we can use in living a happy and a fulfilling life is by managing stress and avoiding burnout. In a fast-paced world like we have now, managing stress and avoiding burnout is very crucial to our health and our well-being. We cannot overlook it because the activities we are engaging are stressing us. The work we are engaging are burning us out, and it appears we have no solution. But I have some solutions for you. I have some key tips or key points for you to take home. So take a pen and a paper and put them down and let them be your walking guide, and it will help you to overcome stress and avoid burnout. The first key point is how we can manage our time. We can utilize our time and prioritize our time or the task that we are involved. So how can we do this? So practically, one, create a daily schedule, right? Because I'm sure we all wake up with schedules. Create daily schedule, right? And then what can you do with creating of the daily schedule? Set clear path. Set goals for the day, the 24 hours. What are the things that you want to engage in? Write them down. Let them be clear. A, B, C. These are the things I want to do. Now you have a clear path. The next step is that allocate time to them or blocks, like maybe the first hour of after you waking up. This is what you're going to engage in. The second hour of you waking up, this is what you're going to engage in. So you've prioritized your time and you know what you're going to do one after the other. Now, the second major point under this is that you must prioritize your task. And you can bear with me that there are things that we engage in within these 24 hours which adds nothing to our lives, but yet we cannot ignore them. We cannot forget them. And we keep on engaging ourselves in them. And they take the energy out of us and they burn us out. So the first thing is that use the prioritization, model. One, there are things, focus on the activities or the tasks which are important and urgent. For that one, they must be top on your list. You see? And after you've done that, focus. There are those which are not urgent, but they are important. And there are those that are urgent, but they are not important. And there are those which are neither urgent or important. And these are what you should be able to scale or arrange them in order of priorities. That is what we call the prioritization of task. Arrange them, prioritize them, so that you don't just, be like you are an emergency service. You're always, attending to emergencies. No, prioritize them. Have a scheme for them. Align them. And another thing is that you have to also set the SMART goals that we talked about before. Your goals should be specific, should be smart. Your goals should be smart. SMART. By smart, we mean that it should be specific. It should be measurable. It should be achievable. It should be relevant. It should be time bound. Now, when you use this strategy, it will help you to clearly define your goals and to achieve them. Another thing is that learn to say no. Learn to say no. Learn to say no. There are people who cannot say no. And so even when they need to work on something and somebody just calls them, they will respond to that call because they think that. But you must learn to say no. And so that you do not burn out yourself. You do not stress yourself at any point in time. And when you've scaled your things, you'll be able to put them in proper order. Right? So that is with respect to time management, prioritization. Right? Another thing is professional self-care. Don't carry your work to your home and then continue working on things when people have closed and gone home. When you close and you come home, it is for you. It is not for the work. Take care of yourself. Don't be engaging in the work like people, like teachers, lecturers, and other people, businessmen, and they come home and they are still working. It is not good for your health. Take time off. If there is a need to sleep, sleep. Right? If there is a need to take a rest, rest. Rest your mind. Rest your body. Have time with your family. Build that connection with your family. These are the type of cares that you need to adopt. The professional self-care, the recreational self-care, the self-care. You see, physical self-care. Your health is very important. These are the things you need to do in order to be yourself, in order to live a fulfilling life. Yes. So we've come all the way from what makes you unhappy and unfulfilling. And then I've given you practical steps in order for you to adapt and adopt to live a life that is fulfilling. Because I want you to live a life that you'll be happy about, and therefore you can be appreciative of whatever you've watched and you've seen, and you are happy that yes, you listened or you watched this episode. Yes, there are so many people who have lived life comfortably, and these strategies that I've shared in this episode are working for them. The people we see who are performing at their higher pace are people who have adopted these principles and they are using them and it is helping them. So I crave your indulgence that you also be able to adopt some of these practices that I've shared in this episode so that you can live a happy life. Happiness is in your hands. You are in control of your happiness. Nobody can control your happiness. If I give you happiness, is temporal. But the happiness that you have created yourself is permanent with you because you are permanent with yourself. I am temporal. Even if I'm your friend, I might be temporal. Even if I'm your colleague, I might be temporal. But you are the only person who is permanent with yourself. And that is why I want to create this kind of scene in your mind and in your heart and in your spirit and in your soul that, yes, try as much as possible to create this kind of enabling, a serene atmosphere for yourself to be a happy person that you want to be. I know you've enjoyed this episode, and there are more in store coming. There are more engaging episodes coming. There are more thrilling episodes coming. There are more following. But I want you to take notices of some of these key points that I've shared in this episode. And I believe that your life will be transformed. Some of the world personalities have used some of these things that I've shared here today, and they are making it and they are contributing significantly to the world and they are empowering people. One of them that I admire most is Oprah Winfrey. You see, this woman today we all admire, starting from somewhere. She gone through a lot of, hardship, poverty, abuse, discrimination at her early age. But this woman didn't give up. This woman strived and she struggled and she pursued her dream despite everything that was happening around her. She didn't give up. She went on a journey and then she pursued her media journey and the storytelling, thing that she had in her. And today, she is all over the place. She's one of the biggest television hostess. And she's a philanthropist now. She's empowering women all over the world and the world at large. These are people who have practiced some of these stories or these points that I'm talking about. Right? So, regardless of wherever you find yourself, you can be the next Oprah Winfrey. Regardless of wherever you find yourself, you can be the next me. I shall sit here sharing episodes of podcasts to you. So it doesn't matter. Be happy. Live a happy life. Live a life that is well fulfilling and be able to champion your dream and focus. Be like Oprah Winfrey. Regardless of whatever is happening to you, don't give up. Keep on. It doesn't matter the challenge. We shall be the people we want to be, and we shall make it in this life. Now, let's look at another personality who is in the person of J.K. Rowling. And she is the author of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. This woman faced a number of rejection when she wanted to publish this storytelling book. She was rejected by numerous publishing firms. But regardless of whatever she was going through, she didn't give up. She was focused. She was fixed on the vision and the dream ahead. And she kept persevering until she found a publisher. And then the publisher published this book. This book has been sold all over the world. And it has caused, phenomenal change for readers who have indulged themselves in this kind of book. She is a rare definition of people who never give up on their dreams. So, regardless of whatever you're going through that is making you unhappy and you think that you cannot fulfill your purpose and your destiny in life, look at some of these people and the challenges they went through, yet they are persevering, yet they persevered, yet they went through the challenges. And at the end of the day, they are now global icons. And we are celebrating them each and every day. It doesn't matter the challenges. It doesn't matter the troubles. It doesn't matter the difficulties that we are going through. Let's learn from these people so that we can also use them, as mentors and as people that we can learn from their stories to be up there, to be where we want to get to in our lives. I know you are inspired. I know you are motivated to push your agenda, to push the things that you have set to do. These are people. Harry Potter now, I think, has been read by most people in this world. If this woman had given up on her dream, I don't think this novel would have been all over the place. But she kept persevering. And now, here she is, being celebrated all over the world. So if you keep persevering and you don't give up on your dreams, you are going to be the next J.K. Rowling. I know you'll be, and I know you are going to make it. Yes, I know, I trust, and I believe in you. So just go for it. I know you have learned a lot in today's episode. And today's episode, we talked about happiness, how you can live a happy life and a fulfilling life. And I started by talking to you about why young men are not happy and the research that backs it, and some of the things that we do which don't make us happy as individuals, and the practical steps that we can use to overcome them, like practicing mindfulness, practicing gratitude, setting clear time bounds for ourselves, and everything that you need as an individual to be a happy person and live a fulfilling life. Yes. So thank you for taking time off your busy schedules to listen and to watch the King Obed podcast. We are very grateful for staying with us. And I know everything you've learned today is going to help you shape your life to be the better person you want to be. Yes. So we are coming again, the next episode. Yes, if there's any topic that you want us to discuss or talk about on the next episodes, you can write to us. You can share in the comment section, whether you are watching on YouTube, whether you are listening on Spotify, on Apple, and all the platforms. Just share with us, and we are going to pick it and we discuss. Each and every day is a journey for us to be learning something new to set us on a path of discovery, personal development, personal growth, inspiration, and be motivated to do more. Let me leave you with this inspirational quote by one American poet called Maya Angelou. She says that, and I quote, that you cannot control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Unquote. This is what I am leaving you with. Thank you for staying with me. This is the King Obed podcast, and my name is Obed Owusu Yeboah. Thank you so much. Until next time, see you, stay motivated, stay inspired, and be on a path of personal growth and development. Bye-bye.